The story of King Lamoni and Ammon in Alma chapter 18, it's a really incredible place to start if you're trying to explore faith and religion through the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
This is a powerful Lamanite king
Right.
who's encountering a Nephite servant named Ammon.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's important for our listeners to remember that the Lamanites were a people who had separated from the Nephites, descendants of Lehi, who traveled to the Promised Land.
Exactly.
So this encounter, it's not just a meeting of two people.
No.
It's really this clash of cultures and beliefs that I think is so fascinating to unpack.
What's so interesting is how this story unfolds,
Oh, well.
It doesn't start with these grand pronouncements or
Right.
theological debates.
Yeah.
It starts with Ammon, this seemingly ordinary servant,
Right.
showing some extraordinary abilities as he's protecting King Lamoni's flocks.
Yeah.
Alma 18.3 actually describes how Ammon demonstrated expertness and great strength, and it sparked a mixture of curiosity and fear in everyone who saw it.
It's like Ammon's actions were speaking louder than words.
Absolutely.
And I think this is where that clash of beliefs becomes so apparent.
Yeah.
The Lamanites believed in a great spirit. It's actually mentioned in Alma 18.2 and 4.
Right.
But their understanding of this higher power was so different from Ammon's.
Yeah.
Their belief system almost seemed to justify their actions, even those that were violent.
This encounter with Ammon throws a wrench into everything they believe, their worldview.
Yeah.
And King Lamoni, especially, I think he's caught in this internal struggle. We see his fear in Alma 18.5 through 7.
Right.
He's terrified of having wronged his servants by slaying them. But there's also this flicker of curiosity there, this hesitant desire to meet Ammon, which we see in Alma 18.11.
Right.
He's drawn to Ammon's power even if it frightens him.
And then you have this really pivotal moment in Alma 18.13.
Yeah.
When one of the servants addresses Ammon as Rabbana.
Right.
This title means powerful or great king.
Yes.
And it's so revealing about how they perceived Ammon.
It really is.
He wasn't just a skilled shepherd to them. He was a figure of authority.
Yeah.
Someone with undeniable power.
And Ammon, despite the danger, approaches the king with boldness, but also with wisdom. In Alma 18.17, we see his willingness to serve.
Right.
But he doesn't shy away from asking these difficult questions. Like his question to King Lamoni in Alma 18.16, why did you slay your servants, shows incredible insight into the king's inner turmoil.
Yeah.
He knows Lamoni is struggling with more than just the loss of his flocks.
It really sets the stage for a truly remarkable dialogue on faith.
It does.
It starts with Ammon's simple but profound question in Alma 18.24. Believest thou that there is a God?
Right.
And King Lamoni's response in Alma 18.25 just shows how unfamiliar he is with this concept, this concept of a God who is personal and involved in the lives of humans.
And Ammon doesn't launch into this complex theological lecture. Instead, he begins by connecting to what the Lamanites already believe, referencing the Great Spirit in Alma 18.26 through 28. He then expands their understanding, explaining God as the creator of all things in Alma 18.28 through 29.
Okay.
He even describes the heavens as God's dwelling place in Alma 18.30 through 32.
Yeah.
It's like he's carefully building a bridge between their existing beliefs and a deeper, more expansive understanding of God.
And what's so incredible is that King Lamoni starts to embrace these teachings.
It really is.
We see this shift in Alma 18.32 and 33.
Yeah.
When he expresses belief in the creation and acknowledges that God is aware of our thoughts.
Right.
It's a moment of genuine openness.
It is.
And intellectual honesty.
And then Ammon takes it even further with a statement that has profound implications for our understanding of humanity and divinity. In Alma 18.34, he says, man in the beginning was created after the image of God. This isn't just a theological concept. It speaks to the inherent value and potential within each of us. Yeah. And he goes on to explain in Alma 18.34 and 35, that his own knowledge and power come from being guided by the Holy Spirit.
Right.
This reveals that true power isn't about brute force, but about aligning oneself with a higher purpose.
Yeah.
Ammon then proceeds to teach King Lamoni, this really condensed but also really comprehensive spiritual history lesson.
Right.
Starting with the creation and the fall of man, as described in Alma 18.36.
Yeah.
He lays this foundation for understanding God's plan for his children.
And it's so fascinating how Ammon doesn't just present this sanitized version of history.
Right.
He talks about the scriptures and the journey of Lehi's family in Alma 18.37.
Uh-huh.
And he really highlights the challenges, the complexities of their faith.
Absolutely.
He even mentions the rebellions of Laman and Lemuel and the sons of Ishmael in Alma 18.38,
right,
showing that even those chosen by God struggle with obedience and doubt.
This is such a critical point, I think, because it makes the story so relatable, you know? It acknowledges the messy realities of the human experience.
It does.
We see that faith isn't about being perfect.
Right.
It's about striving to follow God, even amidst our imperfections.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Ammon connects all of this to the plan of redemption and the coming of Christ, as described in Alma 18.39.
Yeah.
It's a message of hope and second chances.
And King Lamoni's response is so profound.
It is.
In Alma 18.40, he expresses his belief in all of Ammon's words. It's not just this intellectual agreement, you know.
No.
You can sense a deep conviction in his declaration.
Absolutely.
It's like his entire being is being realigned.
And this leads to one of the most powerful moments in the entire Book of Mormon. In Alma 18.41, King Lamoni, overwhelmed by the weight of his sins and the realization of God's love and mercy, pours out his heart in prayer, pleading not only for himself, but for his people.
Imagine this scene.
I know.
This powerful king.
Yeah.
Humbled and broken before God, begging for forgiveness.
This isn't some dry theological debate.
No.
This is raw. It's emotional.
It is.
It's the very essence of a genuine conversion experience.
And the physical manifestation of this spiritual transformation is equally striking.
Absolutely.
Alma 18.42 tells us that King Lamoni falls to the earth as if he were dead.
Right.
This sudden collapse isn't just a dramatic detail, you know?
No.
It symbolizes the death of his old self.
Right.
The shattering of his previous worldview. This is a man who has encountered a truth so powerful that it completely overthrows everything he thought he knew.
The chapter ends with this really poignant image of the Lamanites mourning their seemingly lifeless king, lamenting his loss in Alma 18.43. It leaves us on the edge of our seats, wondering what will happen next. Will he awaken? Will he share his experience?
There's this beautiful parallel here between King Lamoni's physical collapse and the dismantling of his old beliefs.
Absolutely.
It's like both have to be broken down in order for something new to emerge.
This speaks to a universal truth, I think, about our own spiritual journeys.
Right.
Sometimes our old ways of seeing the world, our comfortable assumptions have to crumble before we can truly experience transformation. And those moments can be disorienting, even frightening.
Right.
But they're often so necessary for real growth.
Think about it.
Yeah.
How many times have we clung to beliefs or habits that no longer served us?
It's true.
How many times have we resisted change, fearing the unknown?
King Lamoni's story challenges us to be open to those moments of disruption, those encounters that shake us to our core.
Right.
Because it's often in the breaking down that we find the strength to rebuild ourselves. Stronger and more aligned with our true purpose.
What's so inspiring about this narrative is that it highlights the power of dialogue.
Absolutely.
Of genuine seeking. Neither Ammon nor King Lamoni shied away from the hard questions.
And it's this willingness to engage in an authentic exchange of ideas, to wrestle with doubts and uncertainties, that ultimately leads to Lamoni's transformation. It's a reminder that faith isn't about blind acceptance. It's about a courageous pursuit of truth.
This entire interaction challenges us to consider, who are the Ammons in our lives? Who are the people challenging our assumptions? Introducing us to new ways of thinking and believing.
And maybe even more importantly, are we being the Ammon for somebody else? You know, are we sharing our own beliefs and experiences in a way that invites dialogue and understanding, even when those beliefs might be different from our own?
King Lamoni's story is just this powerful reminder that true conversion, it's not just an intellectual exercise. It's an experience that touches every part of us.
It does.
Our minds, our hearts, even our bodies.
I agree.
And it often comes through these unexpected encounters.
Like
the one between Lamoni and Ammon.
It challenges us to look beyond appearances and preconceived notions.
It does.
I mean, who would have thought that a seemingly ordinary Nephite servant would become the catalyst for such a profound transformation in a powerful Lamanite king?
It really makes you think.
It does.
I hope this discussion has sparked something in you.
Me too.
A desire to delve deeper into your own beliefs.
Yeah.
To ask those tough questions. And be open to the answers.
Right.
However unexpected they may be.
Faith is a journey, not a destination.
It is.
And like any journey, it's full of twists and turns, moments of clarity and moments of confusion.
Right.
But it's often in those moments of wrestling with our beliefs that we grow the most.
This story reminds us that God works in mysterious ways.
He does.
Often using the most unlikely people and circumstances to bring about his purposes.
It encourages us to embrace those unexpected encounters in our own lives. To be open to the possibility of change.
And to allow ourselves to be transformed by something bigger than ourselves.
Thanks for joining us for this insightful discussion.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you'll follow our podcast and subscribe for more discussions like this.